the meaning of the Hiranyagarbha Sukta in this Shastra Vichara part. So this hymn, or this Sukta, it has got 10 mantras. There are 10 mantras in this hymn. So this hymn has got 10 mantras, and this is from the Rig Veda. And it is in the 10th book called Dashama Mandala, and the Sukta number is 121. So the location of this hymn is Rig Veda, book number 10, 121st Sukta. So this is another very important philosophical hymn. It's a Darshanika hymn. In this, Paramatman, the absolute Parabrahman, is actually worshipped and extolled in the form of Srishtikarta, or the creator. In this Srishti, in this particular creation, is included all the various deities, all the devatas, all the gods. And hence, Hiranyagarbha is, the question is raised by the Sukta, who is the God of all gods? Deva, the Deva, the Devata of all the Devatas, who is it? Because even the gods were after creation, as we saw in the Nasadya Sukta. So before creation, we raise certain questions. Is there somebody, or is there not somebody? All those questions were addressed in the Nasadya Sukta. So Nasadya Sukta is what talks about before creation. And at the time of creation, where nobody was, no being was created, but one being was created, the firstborn. And that obviously when the firstborn is there, every other part of the creation is born after. And therefore even the gods have to be subordinate, subservient, and post Hiranyagarbha time. And whoever is born first will be the king of the group, or the emperor of the group, or the devata of the group, the devata's devata. So what is the name? Who should tell us what his name is? Because any name that you can give is also a post-creation. And therefore the Sukta is asking who, means who, or what. So this name itself got stuck to the first creator. What or who, therefore Ka is actually the name of the firstborn. Who is the name of the firstborn? In fact, you will see a similar comparison in the Bible also. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, when Moses goes there and asks God, because it comes from a burning, but it's not a bush which was burning and reduced to ashes, but the bush was burning. And there was beautiful light. And God was there to give the 10 commandments. And Moses asked the question, who are you? Then for that the answer is, who? Who? And then he says, I am. Exactly what the Veda is talking about. Kaha. So what is the name of the first God? It is who. And therefore we are saying, to that who, Kasmai, to that God, Devaya, Havisha Vidhema, we offer our oblations. So oblations, respect and all that you will also see in the Bible when Moses approaches this burning bush to receive the commandments. At that point of time he was wearing footwear, and God thunders and says, remove your footwear. This is sacred space. So you can see when you enter the sacred space, removing footwear is also part of the Christian tradition. But of course, because of the weather and other conditions, we may not be doing it. But the fact is that how do you show respect to a particular entity? First thing is you remove the footwear. And of course, there is also a metaphorical saying that the footwear is the sign of our ego. On one end it is the footwear, and on the other end the headdress, the crown, or the headgear that you wear. So that is why when you go in the presence of sacred company, you remove both. So anyway, that's a sidebar. So to this ka, why we should give a name? Because unless you know what is the name and what is the form, without knowing name and form, you cannot meditate, you cannot contemplate, you cannot think about it. And therefore, to find what was the form and what is the name we can give, there is a refrain in the whole of the sukta, kasmai devaya havisha vidhema. To that who we will offer our oblations. We can also translate this saying, to which God shall we offer our oblations? Both are correct. Kasmai devaya havisha vidhema, to which devata, to which shining principle we should offer our oblations or havis. To which God we should offer our invocations, our prarthana. On which God we should meditate, upasana. So what are the three ways in which we relate to God? One, by offering oblations, and that is why you offer fruits, and then you, in the yajna you offer the ghee, and you light a lamp. All these things we do as a gesture of offering the oblations. And when you are not doing the actual ritual, what is the way in which you worship? You use prayer called prarthana. And when you are not even praying, but you are contemplating on that particular entity, it is called upasana or meditation. So there are three ways in which we can establish relationship with God. One is by offering the oblations, and number two is by prayer, and number three is by upasana. So as the thinking and understanding of this hymn continued, this ka came to be known as Prajapati. That is the first Lord of all beings. So what is the authority? The authority is obviously one of the greatest authorities we have is Mahabharata. So in the Mahabharata we say Prajapati is the name for this ka, because for every creation there must be a creator. And this creator is called as Prajapati. And Mahabharata identifies the Prajapati of the current eon, which is Daksha Prajapati. And Mahabharata also says Vishnu can be addressed as Prajapati, Brahma can be addressed as Prajapati, Maheshwara can be addressed as Prajapati. All of these things fall in the category of the firstborn. So therefore we can take it as the first human manifestation or superhuman manifestation of Daksha Prajapati. As a deity, it can be Shiva, Vishnu, Maheshwara, it can be Brahma. But by and large, the accepted name for the creator is Brahma, because of the root of this word Brahma, to expand. And since the whole universe is constantly expanding, constantly growing, and therefore we use the word Brahma, and Agni Purana also confirms that the first Kaha is none other than Brahma. Then questions are asked, Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema, to whom shall we offer our oblations? Every one of the mantras. The answer comes in the 10th mantra. In the 10th mantra it says Prajapati is the one whom we call as Hiranyagarbha, and Prajapati is the Devadi Deva. Prajapate natvadetan yanyo vishva jatani parita bhabuva yatkamaste juhumastanno astu vayagasyama patayorayinam. That mantra has all the three. That is, I will offer oblations, I will invoke you with prayers, and I will also meditate upon you. All those three are there, and it gives the sukta itself gives the name of this kaha as Prajapati. So the question is, who is the god? And the final answer is Prajapati is the firstborn. So this Prajapati can also be called as Hiranyagarbha. And therefore when the first mantra, when it says Hiranyagarbha samavartata agre, in the beginning Hiranyagarbha was the one who manifested, and the answer to this question in the end comes as Prajapati, we must say that Prajapati and Hiranyagarbha are the same. So they can be used synonymously. So we also studied Purusha Sukta. In the Purusha Sukta, we said the first was Purusha. So is this again another term we can use? But Purusha Sukta gave us a formula by saying Ajayamanaha, one who is not born. Ajayamanaha bahudha vijayate, one who is not born becomes many. So therefore, but Hiranyagarbha, what are we saying? Samavartata agre was the firstborn. So therefore, this Hiranyagarbha cannot be Purusha, because Purusha is unborn. Hiranyagarbha is born. Purusha is unborn. Prajapati is born. And hence, Purusha is Ajayamana, that is unborn. But from the unborn, Jayamana has to happen. That means to be born has to happen, birth has to happen. And that concept of birth is called Jayamana. And that concept of birth is also called Virat in the universal sense. So, therefore, Virat is Prajapati. Now we get another, the reason why we say Virat is Prajapati, because the whole universe, the gross universe is called Virat. And the gross universe has to be, is something that you can give a name and you can give form. You can call it the Milky Way. So you can give name and form. And therefore Virat is the first gross manifestation of Prajapati. Therefore, how many names you can give for Prajapati? Kaha, Hiranyagarbha, and Virat. So this Virat, who is also Prajapati, also known as Hiranyagarbha, is the Prathama Tattva of Jagat. Please carefully note. It is not the first gross manifestation. It is the gross, it is the first principle that took birth. So Hiranyagarbha is the principle, whereas the world, the universe is the gross form. So the principle, we will see in a minute what it is. Thus, who is the Devata of this hymn? This Devata is Kaha or Brahma, also known as Prajapati, also known as Virat. But all the meditation ideas, concepts and hymns can only come from a mind. So which is the first one that was created? Was it the mind that was created first, or was it the form that was created first? That question is answered by saying Hiranyagarbha, since that is the first creation and it is the principle of creation, it is the tattva of creation, the Rishi has to be that mind, the original cosmic mind, Hiranyagarbha. So now Hiranyagarbha becomes the cosmic mind. Since the Srishti has to happen and it has not yet started, where is this potential? Any potential for birth must be in the womb. And the Sanskrit term used is Garbha. And what is the nature of the world? The nature of the world is it attracts. The world attracts us. That's why we want to cling on to the world. And it attracts us and it is graspable. So the grasping and attraction in Sanskrit comes from the root Hr. Hr Harane. So Hr means to actually arrest your mind, to attract your mind. That which attracts your mind is called Hiranya. Hiranya, we also say gold, because gold is very attractive. So attractive Hiranya is in the potentiality, Garbha. All our thoughts, contemplations, meditations, prayers, invocations, chanting, everything is in the mind. And that mind in the universal entity is called Hiranyagarbha. In other words, Hiranyagarbha is the cosmic mind, or Hiranyagarbha is the subtle body of the universe, called Sukshma Sharira of the universe. For those of you who are new to this terminology, there is two entities. One is there is individual entity and the cosmic entity is there. Both the individual and the cosmic, both of them are considered as sentient. And since there is a sentient and it is a form and it has got a name, it has to have three important contexts or three important entities to define it. One is the gross form. It is called as a Sharira at the individual level. At the universal level, it is called Prapancha. And then the subtle form is the mind, personality, and the causal form is potentiality. So these three make up sentiency. And at the individual level, the gross is called Vishwa, the subtle body is called as Taijasa, and the causal body is called as Avidya. And at the universal level, the cosmic mind, the cosmic entity is called, gross form is called Virat, the subtle form is called Hiranyagarbha. That is the personality of the universe is Hiranyagarbha. Just as the personality of the individual is the mind. Mind consisting of the emotional part, manas, the memory, chitta, the sense of individuality, ahankara, and the intellect, buddhi. All those four are now termed together as mind. So therefore, and the cosmic causal form is called Maya. So therefore here, what are we worshipping now? We are worshipping the cosmic personality, subtle personality called Hiranyagarbha. But how do I know what you are thinking? How do you know I know your mind? That whatever is in your mind has got to be expressed. So therefore, Ka is also termed as the primeval sound. Again, linking it to the concept of Big Bang theory, how the world happened. It all started from the sound. And therefore we use the word Om. And so this articulated sound Om can also be called as Hiranyagarbha. And now, so this concept of Hiranyagarbha has got to be given a form. And how do you identify the form, anybody's form? How do you say you are a human being? This human being has got one head, he has got two hands, he has got 2 feet, right? And then you have got a left side, you have got a right side. I am Dakshina Pakshaha, I am Uttara Pakshaha. Taittiriya Upanishad, this is my right side, this is my left side, this is my right side. I am Atma, Idam Puchham Pratishtha. So there you identify by looking at the various organs of the entity. And then you determine this is a human form, this is an animal form. An animal form has got its own characteristics. So similarly, Hiranyagarbha, who manifests as Virat, also has to be looked at with checking out all the various organs of Virat. So this is why what we do is in our prayers, one of the most important prayer is the Rudradhyaya. In the Lagunyasa, we use the word Linga. Linga is another term for subtle universe. The Linga that you see for Shiva is a miniaturization of the entire universe. So whenever you see that, you think that it is Hiranyagarbha. That it is Hiranyagarbha because it is the cosmic subtle mind, subtle body. So that is how you contemplate. And beautifully, this is described in one of the prayers, which in Lagunyasa, the Kerala Paddhatis. In Kerala, in South, have you gone to Kerala in time? Yeah. In Kerala, they use one beautiful prayer. Peetham yasya dharitri jaladhara kalasham lingam akashamurtim nakshatram pushpamalyam graha gana kusumam chandra vanhi arka netram kukshis sapta samudram bhujagiri shikharam sapta patala padam vedam vaktram shadangam dasha dishi vasanam divyalingam namami. The shining linga, I offer my salutations. We also see the same sentiment expressed by Kalidasa in the Avijnana Shakuntala, Nandi Shloka, Ya Srishti Srashturadhya. This is also what we express in while chanting Vishnu Sahasranama, Bhupado Yasya Nabhihi Tribhuvana Vapusham. So whom are we worshipping? Tribhuvana Vapusham, whose body is all the three worlds. Vishnumesham Namami. To that Vishnu I offer my salutations. All these three selected verses. The Kerala prayer of Linga, Divya Linga, the Nandi Shloka of Abhijnana Shakuntala, as also the Dhyana Shloka of Vishnu Sahasranama. All of these three are now pointing out to what? It is pointing it out to Hiranyagarbha. This is the proof as to why Kaha can be called as Hiranyagarbha, can be called as Virat, can be called as Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. All of them. So therefore, no quarrel. Whatever name you call, you are actually worshipping the same God. Thus, the Rishi of this Sukta is Hiranyagarbha. The Devata, who should be the Devata? The Devata has got to be Prajapati. Because now he is putting on another role. The role of a God. Now cosmic mind is now taking on the role of God. And therefore the cosmic mind is the Rishi, is the sage, Hiranyagarbha. And whom he is praying? He is praying Prajapati, actually is praying to himself. We always have to worship the self. So Prajapati, and the chandas of that is the meter of the entire sukta, is called Trishtup, which has got 11 times 4. That is 4 lines of 11 letters each. It is called as the Trishtup chandas. We'll continue in the next class. This is the introduction to the sukta.